Laura Lind in Eye Weekly said Reg Hartt CINEFORUM is everything that Jane Jacobs wrote about. And it is.
Jane Jacobs, author of the definitive book called The Death and Life of Great American Cities, and quite possibly the best qualified critic in the world to do for you what she does now. Review the kind of job we're doing as we build Toronto and Montreal for the second time.
It came because of my street posters. When she arrived in Toronto in 1968, she saw a street flyer for a showing of Lon Chaney's Hunchback of Notre Dame, 1923. And it was a rainy Saturday night, September 1968. Rained all day. I couldn't see anybody coming out. I didn't want to go, but I went. Finally, and outside waiting in the rain was a mother, a father, their two sons, and their daughter, the only people who showed up. And I brought them in, and the first thing Mrs. Jacobs said was, "This is just like Cinema 16 in New York." And then they came every week after that.
Let's see if we can get hit by the car. Hi, I'm Jim Jacobs. I've lived in Toronto for many years. I moved here with my parents, Bob and Jane Jacobs. The Public Enemy Theater was on Yonge Street here, a building where this new building is now. My mother was particularly interested in this new venture in this old, beaten up old building with low rent. It's just the kind of thing that she wrote about should be happening, and the value of these old buildings for new ventures.
But what especially makes this place everything she wrote about is the constant efforts of the city to destroy it.
Toronto's a very refreshing city to come to from the States. It's all full of romanticism and quirks and surprises and ingenuity, particularly in the way outdoor space is used. In Markham Street Village, the way those front yards of former residences, which are now shops, have been made into really wide sidewalks. Marvelous for window shopping, for sitting around in. This is another aspect of this Toronto genius for using bits of outdoors. This is not usual in most cities today. This isn't a dead city. There doesn't seem to be much creativity at the top.
The spicy stuff is really spicy. So I saw Reg play in Montreal at the Rialto Theatre, like it was a packed house. It was a big cinema house. I don't know, what does it seat, like 500 or something? 1,000. And I remember being in the top row, like way in the balcony, and watching the Sex and Violence Cartoon Festival. And then this guy came out and talked. And I heard the guy talk, and I listened to the guy, and I thought, this guy's an asshole. When are we going to just hear the film? See the film. And that was Reg. When I heard these talks again, different talks every time, but when I heard the talks, that became my favorite part of the thing. Like, I didn't care about the movies. And I still don't. I'd rather just hear Reg talk.
Reg is a very sensitive guy. He comes across as tough and brave, but he's so thoughtful, so sensitive, and really can be amazingly supportive and wonderful in ways that you just might not expect. Reg is, above all, unpredictable. And when Jane died, Reg was devastated, as were we all. And he left a card. You know, we got many of these condolence cards with the usual trite messages of, you know, your loss, this, that, and the other. It's the usual sort of thing. And here was a card from Reg, that beautiful picture, and the message inside was just blank. Reg Hartt. There's a great big blank hole left when anyone dies. And I never saw it expressed so clearly as a condolence card without any writing. And it meant a lot to us.